Good morning everyone. Today is the first day of the readathon. I'm really excited because I've never done anything like this before. But I'm about to head downstairs and read 9 Liars, which I'm trying to get up on the screen, by Maureen. I think I'm going to start with this one today just because I want to read on my new Kobo for the morning. So I will update you guys on how that goes. I'll probably try and do like an hour of reading in the morning and then get on with my day and see how much I can do while also doing some stuff that needs to get done today. Hello, so I have been getting ready to go to the gym and I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a reading update. So I read for an hour and I read 9 Liars by Maureen, which is the 5th book in the Truly Devious series. I love that series. I have read every single book from that series as it's come out. And it's been amazing. So very excited that I saw like the next book on my library's website and I just like borrowed it straight away, and it is quite good so far. I have seen some people say that it doesn't feel as much as part of the series like the other books are. It feels very removed, and I think maybe a factor of that is that it's set in London this time and the rest of the series is set in the US. That might be part of it because it does give a different vibe. Like most of the series is set at Ellingham Academy, which is where the main character solves the first three murders, and then the 4th book is set at a summer camp where she solves a murder there, and the 5th book is now set in London. So that might be why it's feeling a little bit removed, but it's a really, really good YA mystery series if you haven't read it, and I really, really recommend if you're looking for like a mystery book or a YA book. But yeah, really good so far, really enjoying it. Read about 50% in an hour, which is awesome. I like didn't realize I could read that quickly, but I think it's the book, like it makes me like want to read more. So I'm very excited to probably finish the book today or maybe tomorrow, but I'll definitely try and read for another hour today, so we might finish the book. But I'm going to the gym and I'm going to try and read on the treadmill, and then I'm going out for dinner, but I'm going to take the bus and I'm not going to drive, so I might be able to read on the bus as well. But I will update you guys as we go. Guys, it is 12:30 at night and I just finished 9 Liars. The timer is on 21 hours and 47 minutes, so I read for 2 hours and 13 minutes today, which was pretty good, and I managed to start and finish the whole book, so I'm really happy with that progress. The book was really interesting. I don't think I liked it as much as the first couple books in this series. I think I'm going to still read the series out of like nostalgia and love for the first couple books, but just these books aren't very strong in their mysteries, just because the mysteries are sort of set up and then solved in a book versus the first 3 books where it was like the same mystery for 3 books, so there was lots and lots of development. There were a lot of characters. Like the main mystery revolved around 9, like a group of 9 friends from the 90s. That is just way too many people to keep track of. Plus also Stevie and her friends were solving it. It was just a lot, and I feel like I didn't really know any of the characters. Like if you asked me for anyone's characteristics, like any new characters' characteristics, I would literally say nothing. But it ended kind of on a cliffhanger, and I was like literally like when I finished the book like shocked. So I'm really keen to read the next book to see where it goes. But yeah, that is my reading update for the day. Really keen to see how much I get done tomorrow and if I finish any more books. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hello. It is the next day. It is actually the afternoon. It's 12:20. I had a really busy morning, so I wasn't really able to get any reading done, but now I can kind of sit down and read my book, and I'm just going to adjust that there. Okay, so the book that I have decided to pick up next is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I'm already 150 pages into this from before I started the readathon, And I've got my little coffee here, so I'm just gonna sit down and read her, basically. For the next, I've got 47 minutes remaining of this hour, so maybe for the next 47 minutes until I hit like the 20th hour. Hey guys, it is about 7 p.m. and I thought I would give you a little bit of a reading update. So the timer is on 20 hours and 5 minutes and I finished Renegades. So I pretty much read for an hour and 45-ish minutes today. Renegades was really, really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars, which is still pretty good for me. I would say that's still a really good rating. I love everything Marissa Meyer writes. Like, her writing just works with my brain, if that makes any sense. But it was really enjoyable. I don't think I'm going to read the rest of the series this month because I would like to own them and I'm on a book buying ban. So I'm thinking I will put it off for as long as I can because I do want to buy the books, but I know that I shouldn't be spending money on books at the moment. So we'll see how we go with the rest of the series, but definitely not this month unless I get them from the library. But overall, the book was really good. If you guys don't know what Renegades is about, it's basically set in our world but in the future, where there are prodigies who are basically like superhumans, like humans with power, and then there's just normal humans. And if you're a prodigy, you can either join the Renegades, which is like this, basically like the Avengers, right? So like good superheroes that are meant to help people, or you can be anti-renegade and be like one of the anarchists. And our main character, Nova, is an anarchist. And the anarchists are basically trying to take down the renegades. And as she gets closer to the renegades and like figuring out who they are, there's a boy named Adrian who gives her some feelings. And basically it's like it's not a romance, but there is romance in it. A little bit, not a lot in the first book, but I'm assuming it gets amped up a bit more in the next few books, but it was really enjoyable. This book was a lot of world building and like explaining, and there were a lot of fight scenes that I was very confused by. But yeah, this book is done. So I asked you guys on Instagram to let me know which book you think I should read. So I gave 3 romance options because I know that I need a romance now after all of this reading. The first romance book that I asked you guys if I should read is Sally Green Doesn't Care. This is a sapphic romance, I believe. I want to say it's enemies to lovers. Yes. And like forced proximity. But when they're forced together during the many wedding preparations. Love a good forced proximity. But it looks really good. I've heard really good things about it, and it's been on my shelf for a very, very long time. So it's on the list. It's coming up. It's coming up. Next, I read. I asked you guys if I should read When in Rome. This one is by Sarah Adams, who wrote The Cheat Sheet, which was really popular on TikTok, I want to say a year ago. I have not read Cheat Sheet, but I have heard When in Rome is better, I want to say. And basically this girl goes on a Roman holiday, but she ends up in Rome, Kentucky. And I think there's cooking involved. From the cover, I really don't know much about it, but it looks really good. And a lot of people have said it's really good. I got a lot of DMs about this one saying it was good. So very excited about this. And then the last book that was on the poll is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. Again, I really don't know what this book is about. It's like this girl, the blurb is like 4 lines. Like, it's ridiculously vague for a book that's like this thick. But basically she moves back to her hometown in the mountains. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's all I know. But I've been wanting to read this book for so long. It is such a luxurious book to hold because it's the indie published version, so it's really heavy, and it's just really nice to read. I feel like the reading experience is gonna be really good. So I'm gonna have a quick look at the poll and see which book won and give you guys an update. So When in Rome has won with 41% of the votes, and the polls been up for only like an hour, but I'm just ready to get started. I'm going to take this to the gym and I'm going to read a little bit on the treadmill while I do my cardio, or maybe on the bike. I'll see how I feel, and I will update you guys when I get more into with how I feel. Good morning and welcome to my kitchen while I make my morning coffee and discuss my latest read. I think I filmed an update yesterday, but it was really dark and quiet, and also it was really late, so I don't know if I uploaded that one. So I'll just re-say everything I said in this video, and hopefully that one never has to see the light of day. But last night I was reading When in Rome by Sarah Adams, and oh my god, that is my favorite book of this readathon so far. Granted, it's only day 3, but still, it is such a fun romance, and I'm so glad that you guys picked it for me because it was so good. If you're curious as to what I'm doing, I'm making my coffee, but it's out of view. It was one of those romances that I literally just wanted to savor and have it never ever stop. It is so cute. I'm only 130 pages in because I'm reading it really slowly. I'm purposely slowing myself down. Also, I'm tabbing it and writing little annotations, so I feel like that is slowing me down and making me savor the book a lot longer, which honestly is a win. But yeah, that is the book that I'm currently reading. The timer I think is on 18 something. It's 18 hours and 47 minutes or something. And today's a little bit of an errand morning. I need to go do a few things, but I'm going to take my book along and see what I can read in between all those errands. But yeah, probably not much, to be honest. But I will update you guys when I have an update, or when I probably finish the book. But yeah, see you guys later. Hello, it is literally 11 o'clock at night on day 3 of the 24-hour readathon. I feel like this is gonna go on for a few days because I'm only 16 hours. I have 16 hours left, so I'm only 8 hours in, which is not very slow of me. But anyway, reading update for the day. I finished When in Rome, and it was so cute. I tabbed it, but you can tell I only tabbed it, started tabbing 50 pages in. But they were so cute, and I did some annotations, not all, but I wrote my thoughts because I loved this book. I loved it so much. It is a 4.75 star romance, and I'm not saying it's 5 out of 5 because it's not a masterpiece, which is what I would give to Beach Read or Normal People or One True Loves would be my 5-star gold standard romances. This isn't that, but it's so good. It was so entertaining. I was smiling so much. I was reading this at the gym, and people were looking at me because I was smiling at myself reading this book. It was amazing. The banter, 10 out of 10. It was Lorelai Gilmore, Luke Danes, but make it 2023. Make Lorelai a celebrity, and that's the book. The banter, the wit, the pining, and it's a very short book, so I feel slow burn isn't an accurate way to describe it because it's it is very slow burn. They do not really get together until the last legs of the book, but because the book was so short, it didn't really feel like a slow burn, but technically it is, I guess. It's just got the charm of the small town as well, Schitt's Creek, Gilmore Girls, Stars Hollow vibes. Amazing. I'm so happy. This is probably my favorite book of the month, so very happy with this. And then I also finished Never Lie today. I only had 40% left on my Kindle. It was the 3rd Freida McFadden book really good, really easy, really quick read. I mean, I don't think it's like, again, her books aren't like amazing, like you have to read them. They're just really easy, quick reads. And I just kind of got to a point where I had to know what was happening, so I had to finish the book. But it was good. I'm gonna give it maybe 3.5 stars, maybe 4. 4's pushing it. I'd say 3.5 stars to that one. My least favorite Freida McFadden out of the 3 that I read so far. So let me know if anything else by her is worth reading. I think I'm not gonna read anything else by her because those are the only 3 that I've heard. Like The Housemaid's Secret, and Neverlie are the only books that I've heard anything about by her, and I've read them all now, and Neverlie was like the least hyped, and it was not the worst, but it was out of the 3 is not the best. So I don't think I'm going to read anything else by her, but let me know if you have any other recommendations. I'm going to go shower. I'll probably read a little bit more, but in the shower I will think of the next book because I have no idea what I'm going to read. I have Rebecca Yarros's Bromance that I'm just not picking up because it's so slow and so sluggish, and I think I need to read it like in the morning, like when I'm fresh and I'm ready to read, not like at night when I'm tired and I just want something that I can't put down. But I'll update you guys when I pick a book. Maybe we can pick one together. We'll see how we go. Can you pick a book for me? No, can you just pick it? Pick a book. Thanks. Hello. It is 2 days later now. It's Saturday. I think I last talked to you guys on Wednesday night or Thursday, and I was like, I'm not going to read on Thursday because I'm just burnt out. And I didn't read on Thursday, and then on Friday, which was yesterday, I read for a total of 2 hours, which is not too bad, but I did get through quite a few things, so we'll discuss. The first book that I started, which I gave my mum 3 options to pick from, she picked Black Cake by Charmaine. I am now 186 pages of the way through. It's a bit boring. Like, it's not grippy. I don't want to pick it up. It's really good writing, and the reason I chose this as one of the 3 options is because I saw that it was becoming a TV show on someone's story or something, and I want to read it before I watch it. And it's been on my bookshelf for like 3 or 4 months now, so it's not been on there for a overly crazy amount of time, but I want to read it. I wanted to pick it up, and I will finish it by the end of the readathon. It's just not gripping me. Like, the writing is good, but the story is a bit boring and dragging right now. If you guys don't know what this book is about, it's basically about this mother who dies, and she leaves a recording for her 2 children to listen to. And so the story is kind of split up into 2 time zones. It's not time zones, like time periods. So one time period is like the present, where the kids are listening to the recording, and you're in the kids. It's not from their point of view, but you're in their, like, you know how they're feeling when they're listening to the recording, and you kind of learn about the children's lives when they were kids, and then as they've gone off and moved out of the home. And then the other half of the book, I guess, is the actual recording. So it just goes into the world of the recording, and it's like telling you a story of like exactly what the mother is telling you, if that makes sense. So you're getting the kids' point of view as they listen to the recording, and you're getting the recording itself. The recording is interesting. I think that's the more interesting bit, because it's kind of like a story. But the children's, I'm just not connecting to the main children characters at the moment. But we'll see. I'm sure it'll pick up. The other book that I started is Bromance Book Club. I am only 70 pages in, not 70%. I'm only 70 pages in. So like not even a third of the way through. I'm assuming it's a 320 pages. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a nice like break from the heavy lit fic. It's basically, this book is not that popular anymore, which I'm not sure why, because it's kind of cute. But it was really popular when I started my Instagram account, like back in 2020. Everyone was reading it. And it's a whole series. I think there's like 4 or 5 books. But it's basically about our main character, Gavin, who is a from Nashville pro baseball athlete. And his wife has asked for a divorce because she's unhappy. So he tells his mates, he's like, I don't want to lose my wife, but she's asked for a divorce. Like, what do I do? And they're like, we got you. So they take him to this like book club where it's all these like high profile Nashville men, like athletes, politicians, like TV personalities, and they all read Regency romances and learn how to get their women back. And they're all like people that have been on the brink of like divorce or a breakup, and they read these romances together and they learn how to treat women well, which is a really interesting premise. I'm only like a little bit in, and I don't really read romances about people that are like married and like getting a divorce. Like I usually read about people when they're dating, if that makes sense. I've never really read about a marriage before and the falling apart of a marriage and like bringing it back together. So it's interesting. It's cute. It's like funny and it's well written. I'm enjoying it so far. And the next book that I wrote, started and finished, all within 2 hours, might I add, is Indigo Ridge. I forgot the name. Indigo Ridge by DevneyPerry is the first book of the Eden series. I have not like heard one person talk about the Eden series in a negative way. Like everyone either likes the first book and continues, or doesn't like the first book but like still likes the rest of the series. I haven't had any negative things basically about the Edens. So I picked up the first book and I smashed through it in a day. I had already read about 30% like a couple months ago, and then I put it down, but then I picked it up again and I followed through the rest of the 70% of the book. It was really good, really interesting. If you guys don't know what the Eden series is about, it's basically about these siblings that live in a town called Quincy. And the first book is about this police officer that moves to the town, and it's a small town romance. So she moves to this town and then she gets with the brother, like one of the brothers from that whole family. And it's like a romance, but there's also a mystery that the cop is trying to solve. So it's good. It had a bit of both, which I really liked. I think I'm going to rate that one a 4 out of 5 because I did really enjoy it, and I definitely will pick up the rest of the series. But that is my reading update for Saturday. I'm going to try and get, the timer is at 8 hours exactly. So I'm going to try and read and bring it down to 4 today by the end of the day and finish these 2. That is my goal for the day, is to smash through these 2. So I will let you guys know how I go. Watch me not pick these up and start a whole new book, which is exactly what I did with Indigo Ridge. I was like, I'm not feeling either, pick up another book, but I'm not going to let myself do that today. So one of these will be done by the next update. You'll see. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Now, can we discuss a reading update? So I've got Black Cake here, which is what I said I would finish today, and I did. I'm so proud of myself. The timer is on 6:30 at the moment, so I still have 6.5 hours left to read. I'll probably do 2 hours of reading tonight, or like an hour and a half, get it down to a solid 5 hours, or 4.5 hours if we're lucky, and then tomorrow we can just smash that and finish it. But book-wise, Black Cake was really good. I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It was a good lit fic. It was just a solid lit fic book. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. It's not up there with like the racial incident, but it's still really enjoyable. It's giving Pachinko vibes, if you've read Pachinko. It's basically like a family saga told very, very well. The writing is beautiful. The characters are, my favorite characters were like the ones I wasn't expecting to be my favorite characters, and then ones that we got only glimpses of, and I can't tell you who they are without spoiling the story, so I'm not going to. If you've been thinking about reading Black Cake and you are a lit fic girly pop, you're gonna love it. It's beautifully written, it's intergenerational, it is a lovely story about womanhood and family and doing what's right, not doing what's easy. If you're not a litfic girly, if you're trying to get into litfic, save this one for later. Pick something a little bit more easy and palatable. I can recommend if you'd like, but this one is a bit heavier. And it's definitely not a book for like a reader who's just beginning to venture into litfic. If you like romance, this is probably not it. If you like thrillers, this isn't it. Like this is a very like, not slow, but it takes its time and it tells the story really, really well. Like it's beautifully written. I really enjoyed it. I'm very much looking forward to watching the TV show when it comes out. And I'm really glad I picked it up because like stunning read. That is my update for tonight. Whoopsies, that was gonna fall. I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna get into bed and I'm gonna read my next book on my Kindle. Not gonna read Bromance Book Club because I found an audiobook of it. So I think I'm just gonna read it on audio, like, and just finish it off on audio and not really do it as part of the readathon anymore. But I found a Kindle dark romance called The Butcher and the Blackbird, which I've seen a few TikToks about and it looks really good. And I'm like a couple percentages and I think I'm like 5% in and it's really good so far. It's kind of funny, which I love a funny book. I love a funny book. So I'm keen to see it. I'm going to see if I can finish it tonight. If not, we'll finish it tomorrow, no worries. But yeah, excited for tomorrow. I might also go do some more book shopping tomorrow because I have a few vouchers that I need to spend. And I need to go run some errands and I need to go to the gym. So we're going to see if we can do all that and read. Probably not, but I have no plans tomorrow apart from like errands. So maybe we can. That was very long and rambly for no reason. I will talk to you guys later on. Good morning. Today is the last day of the readathon. Mark my words. Today is the last day. I have 4.5 hours left of reading, which I'm going to finish today. Last night I finished the Bromance Book Club. That is pretty much all I read. I think I read for like an hour yesterday. And I just finished this book and I read a little bit of Things We Leave Unfinished or Things We Never Left Unfinished or something like that. And I've got only 100 pages left of that one now. So I'm going to finish that one today and probably have to start a new book because 4 hours is a lot and I will have time left over. But I'll talk to you guys later today. God, if you have made it to this point of the video, thank you for watching because this is the end of the 24-hour readathon and it's the wrap up of every single thing that I read. So in total I read 11 books and I've got them, most of them here, all stacked up. I think I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them here because 3 of them were ebooks and then the other one I gave to a friend. One of them I gave to a friend. So these are the ones remaining. But I thought I would quickly run you through everything that I read, my thoughts, but not go into too much detail because we already did that. So 11 books. Out of the 11, like I said, I think 3 of them were ebooks. 3 of them were mysteries. So that was 9 Liars. It was Never Lie. And None of This Is True by Lyssa Jewell. And then 4 romance books, which were The Bromance Book Club, When in Rome, Indigo Bridge, and The Things That We Leave Unfinished, or The Things We Leave Unfinished. 3 of them were litfic, Rachel Incidents, Black Cake, and Lessons in Chemistry, and then 1 book was sci-fi, which is Renegades, and this is YA sci-fi. Ratings and discussions. So I think I first read 9 Liars. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 3.5 out of 4. Not the best in the series, but it was good. It was a good end. But if you haven't read the Trilogy of You series, I definitely recommend. The first 3 books are so good. It kind of drops off from there, but I think I will still continue with the series. The second book I read was Renegades. I enjoyed this as well. I think I rated it a 4 or something in the clip that I was talking about. I was thinking I'm going to bump it down to like 3.5 because like I'm not itching to pick up the series. Like I've read a lot since then and I'm just not, like I don't really need to know how the series finishes up. So maybe 3.5. But it was still, it was a good read. It was an enjoyable read. And she's a thick one. She's like 530 pages, so it was a big book. I then want to say I read When in Rome, possibly. I honestly can't remember. I loved this book so much. I'm saying like 4.5 stars out of 5. I tabbed it as well, if you can see. It was so cute. It was such a lovely romance. I really highly recommend this. I know a lot of people love it, but if you haven't read it, definitely pick it up. It's about this woman who is it gives like Lorelai and Luke, Gilmore Girl vibes, you know? But it's basically about this woman who's like a pop star, and she gets trained in a little town in Rome, Kentucky, and she meets this man who kind of like is one of the people that like he's got a big family and he's from the town, so he doesn't own the town, but he's well known, that's the word I was looking for, in that specific town. And so she stays with him, and everyone's like, oh my god, like, you guys are staying together, what does this mean? And they fall in love, obviously. It's really cute. It's kind of Grumpy Sunshine, but not too much. I did really like this, and it was a fairly slow burn because it was quite short, like 300 pages. But I truly enjoyed this one quite a bit. I want to say after that I read None of This Is True, or maybe I read The Rachel Incident. I don't know. We'll talk about Rachel Incident first. I really enjoyed this. I think this is, I've given 2 5 stars throughout this readathon. I think this would be one of them, I think. I also tabbed this one, but like less. It was so well done. I thought it was amazing. It's basically about this girl who has a best friend named James, and they live together, and she has a crush on one of her uni professors. So they organize a book launch for that uni professor's book at the bookstore that she works at, just so she can get closer to him. That's all in the first, like, I want to say 50 pages, and then it just goes on from there. It's not what you're expecting. It's really good. It's very funny. I found both of these books to be really funny, and I really liked that. I really recommend this, even if you're not into literary fiction. This is like it's just amazing, so just read it. And I think this was Shameless Book Club's pick for last month for August, so I read it a bit later, but it's fine. It's good. It was good. And I kind of prefer reading it after they've already done the episode, so you can kind of listen to what they thought as soon as you finish the book rather than having to wait. But yeah. Okay, next we'll talk about None of This Is True by Lyssa Jewell. Like 5 out of 5, easy. One of the best thrillers I've read in a really long time, and the best Lyssa Jewell book I've ever read, I think. Like truly the best of her work so far, I think. Yeah, for me anyway. It's basically about this woman named Alex who has a podcast, and on her 45th birthday she meets another woman named Josie, and they're both having their 45th birthday. They were both born in the same hospital, so it's like this big like coincidence. And then Josie tracks her down a couple of days later, and she's like, look, my life is really interesting. I think we should do like a birthday twins series on your podcast. And Alex is like, yeah, okay, sure. Like this, you know, this is going to make me money. Fine, let's do it. And then she finds out more about Josie and her story, and it's crazy. And the title of the book is like so true, like None of This Is True, because at the end of the book I had no idea what was true and what wasn't true, and I had so many questions still. Like nothing was really answered, but a lot of it was, but the main bits were, I guess, but a lot of it I was just kind of like, oh my god. Really good book. All right, next I think I'm gonna talk about Black Cake. Really solid lit fic. I think this is also one of Shameless Book Club's picks for a while ago. I enjoyed it enough. I'm gonna say 3 stars, 3.5 maybe. It was really well written, but it was just a bit slow, and like I wasn't like in the world as much as I wanted to be in the world. If you're not a literary fiction reader, I wouldn't go towards this one as much, but the writing was really good. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed learning about the Caribbean culture because I don't really know much about it, and I thought that was well done. But overall, I don't know, I wouldn't like be recommending this book to every single person. It's basically about these siblings whose mum dies, and she dies, and she says she has a recording that she needs them to listen to, and she just tells them the story of her life, and they didn't know any of this, and it's really interesting, and it takes them along a little journey, and I quite liked it. Then I read Never Lie by Freida McFadden. This is the third book I read by Freida McFadden, and I don't think I'll read any more. I think that's it for me for now. It was fine, it was good, maybe like 3.5 stars, nothing extraordinary. The plot twist was like, I was kind of like, oh my god, like, no way. But other than that, it was very like ordinary kind of book. If you like Housemate and Housemate's Secret and you want more Freida McFadden, maybe read it, but it just wasn't like, that was it, you know. I was kind of like, okay, the work isn't, it's, the Housemate is like the top, and then it's just, I'm assuming, gonna decline from there on. But if you have read any other books by her, because I don't love her writing style, I do like her plots though, but if you have read anything else by her, let me know, and then I'll read it. I'll let you know what I think. I then read the things, oh no, let's talk about this one first. I read Bromance Book Club. Again, like solid romance book, maybe like 3.75, not quite 4, but I can't really tell you why, because it was good. It was funny, it was well done. I liked the characters. It's about this man who's a American football player, and they live in, oh no, baseball player, sorry, you can see how much attention I pay to the sports of the book. Baseball player. And he's having issues with his wife. His wife has asked for a divorce, and he's like, I want to win her back. So he goes to this, like, his mates take him to this underground book club where all of these like high society men learn how to get their wives back or their girlfriends back or make them happy by reading Regency romance novels. And so there's a little bit of the Regency romance novel like in this book, like every couple chapters. I didn't really like the Regency romance, like I just skipped them. I didn't think it didn't do anything for me. It wasn't really interesting. I liked the main characters. I don't really read books with adults, as in like 30, 40-year-old people as main characters in romances. So it was interesting to see a romance from like a married family kind of point of view. It's a whole series, and I definitely will continue. But like, again, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, you must read this book, it's so good. It was just like, it was good. It was just as good as any romance would be. Nothing special. Then I read The Things We Leave Unfinished, and oh my god, this was definitely the worst book I've read in this readathon. It was such a slog. It is half historical timeline, half our timeline, and I just didn't like any of the timelines. So it's basically about this girl whose grandmother was a really famous author. She dies, and her last book is unfinished. So she employs a really famous male romance author to finish up her grandmother's manuscript. That is one part of the story. And obviously, I think they try and play it like enemies to lovers, wherein the main girl, Georgia, I think her name is, and the main guy, Noah, are like fighting over the manuscript. But they're not enemies. Like, they just don't love each other's ideas in the beginning about how the manuscript should be. It's not enemies to lovers, really. And then the second timeline is the historical one, so it takes place in World War II, and it's the grandmother's love story, and it's basically the book that they are fighting over. We get in the other bit. It was fine. I'm gonna say it was initially a 2 stars. The ending was really good. Like, the last 50 pages were really good, so that kind of bumped it up to 2.5 stars. But it was just such a slog to get through. Like, there was just so much. Like let me just physically show you that this bit of the book, this entire middle chunk, I just felt was like a waste. Like, it was just random stuff. I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't like, there's basically 2 romances happening. I didn't like either of them. I didn't like the man, especially in the historical romance section. I don't know, I just wasn't a fan. I then read Indigo Ridge by DevneyPerry, which is the first book in the Eden series. Solid. Like, I did really enjoy that book. I think I'm gonna give that one like 4 out of 5 stars. I'm continuing the rest of the series. I'm currently reading Juniper Hell, and I am also really liking that one. So I think I'm gonna finish that whole series. But again, it's not something I'm like ramming down people's throats, like, oh my god, you must read the Edens. Like, it's just not that. It didn't give me that vibe, but it was enjoyable. And I do have one more book that I remembered when I was explaining all these books, so I'll go get it and look, and I can't actually find it, so I'll just talk about it on here. I read Serious Moonlight by Jenn Bennett. I don't know how I feel about this book. She is the author of Alex Approximately, which was really popular a couple of years ago. I don't know how, again, I don't know how I feel. Alex Approximately was really good. I really enjoyed it. Serious Moonlight is a YA romance, and it's about this girl who lives off of, like, in a little island off of Seattle, and her mum has died. So she went to live with her grandparents. Her grandmother died. So there's a lot of trauma in her life, or like, not trauma, but a lot of grief. And she finishes high school, and like, she's homeschooled, so she finishes up, and she works in a hotel, and like during the night shift in Seattle. And the whole reason that she works in a hotel is because this hotel had this like old-timey mystery that she wanted to solve. And I thought, because that's kind of what's implied in the first like 25-30 pages, I thought we were going to try and solve that old, like, it was a whole old Hollywood mystery. And I thought that's what we were going to do, and we didn't do that. We just met a boy and we fell in love with the boy. That's fine, that was going to happen. But then we solved a really random mystery that the boy kind of tells her about. So he's like, oh, you like mysteries? We had this mystery in the hotel. And then they get interested in this mystery, which is really like, it's kind of a silly one as well. And they solve that. And I was like, I thought this book would be like a romance, but also have a YA mystery attached, and it would be really fun. And it just didn't deliver. I think 2.5 stars is what it's going to be rated for by me. I also did not like any adults in this book. I thought the adults were so infuriating. So one of the adults, and this is the big issue I had, is that she is her mum's best friend. So the mum passed away, but obviously she's alive. And she helped to raise the main character, Birdie. And while she was raising her, she kind of takes on the role as like, she takes a best friend role in the book, which is fine, but she's like a 30-something-year-old woman. Like, you have, there's boundaries there. And one of the boundaries was she was talking about how attractive the male love interest was. The male love interest is 17. She's like a 36-year-old woman, and she's finding a 17, 18-year-old boy attractive. And I was just like, that is icky to me. Like, I, at 22, do not find 17-year-old men attractive. How could you say something like that? Was very icky. And then also there was another incident that I don't want to talk about because it's kind of a spoiler, but there was just, the adults in the book were just written really badly, and it just, I did not like that at all. And other than that, I don't know, it wasn't anything special, but that is all. So I guess we'll be adding, I would say, 4 romances to the total tally. So that is it from me today, and that's it from the readathon video. So 12 books total. I totally misspoke before. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really had fun filming it, and it was a really lovely experience and a great video to start off on. If you guys feel like it, maybe pop down a comment and like this video. I think it's gonna help me out, but I have no idea because I've never done this before. But please, if you feel so, do it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll see you somewhere else on the internet. Bye.